Rightio. Thank you so much for coming in today.
That's okay, you're welcome.
I just wanted to run by the return to work program that we have put together for Jan. I just want to get your thoughts as the rehabilitation provider. Our actions that we've discussed with our management team, and our work health safety implications that we've discussed as well in depth. But we might have missed something that you might be able to bring to light for us. So I have the document here.
Thank you.
So if you want, you can have a read through that. And yeah, we'll just go through it. And if anything comes up to mind, anything that sticks out to you. Essentially, in summary, we've just restricted her to more lighter duties, trying to rotate her through being on the field and being in the office doing admin duties, just to try and give a bit of a mixture of duties to help with her not being able to lift above 3 kilos, not being able to walk for much distances until she has to take rest, and similar things like doing the inventory checks, making sure that we've got enough certain chemicals in stock for other workers to make sure we don't run out of things, stuff like that. That she might not be able to contribute what she normally would do, but try and find duties that she can actually do with her injury and not aggravate it more, but also try and have that same level of impact that she has doing her other job.
To make her feel like she's actually contributing.
Yeah, because with an injury like this, it does take a toll on Jan mentally. She does feel that she's letting the team down. She doesn't want to hold anyone back. Obviously with the restrictions that you guys have put in, it's in the end of the day, it's to help her.
Yes.
But we just got to help her with assisting her mentally as well. That it's okay. You're injured. You have to do this just for a little while, just so you can get back onto your feet and get to a full capacity of work.
Yeah, so I did speak to Jan about that a little bit, and in our psychological risk assessment, it was identified that Jan felt very guilty for the injury initially, and also she felt that some of the other team members won't be very happy to take on her tasks, and feel that she's faking the injury, because obviously back injuries are invisible injuries. So look, that is something that came up in the risk assessment. I've just had a very quick look through. This is actually really, really, really good. But I will say that my only concern, or a couple of concerns, is the ability for Jan to do the heavier tasks anyway. If she knows the work's there, and it's kind of like muscle memory, right? She's just kind of doing her job. What's going to be happening with her, the heavier aspects, like, basically the duties that she's not going to be doing? Yeah.
So we have reached out to a labour hire company, which we have worked in the past to help us to try and help fill in that role for her temporarily, to do all those heavy lifting stuff. Because obviously that job still has to be done. So we have reached out to a labour hire company, and we do have labour hire coming in to essentially fill her role temporarily for the next 4 weeks while she recovers.
That's really good to hear.
And obviously that's on a play-by-ear basis. Essentially, if she recovers quicker, then we can adjust. If she takes a little bit longer, then we'll just adjust the labour hire to that. So
okay. My other concern is just obviously with Jan, and I know this is really hard to control for the employer, I know, but Jan being honest about the pain, or if she's feeling, you know, like she's struggling with even just the light duties. Sorry if I missed it, but was there going to be, you know, check-ins with her, or who's going to be doing that?
Yes, so we do have, obviously we have, you know, our site supervisors. We've got a safety rep on site.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can implement like a kind of like a buddy system for her.
Okay.
You know, we do need to still keep an eye on her. And obviously
she will push herself.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, obviously know Jan very well. But it just seems like she would push herself. And we don't want her to, you know, we want her to keep her engaged in the workplace, you know, keep kind of current with what's happening. I feel supported, but not that she feels any pressure to do those additional tasks. But other than that, I feel that your return to work program's really well thought out, and you've thought about, you know, any implications, and that's really, really good. And look, you know, things might change. We just need to see how Jan improves, but I think the movement for her will be really good, and you know, the mental stimulation as well, because obviously, as you know, the psychological impact of an injury like this is not something that people always think about, but it's still something to be considered.
And just going back on, you know, her being honest about her pain, and you know, being open to discuss it with us. You know, we just got to just really promote a good work culture. You know, just let her know that it's okay that, you know, she's injured. It's okay for her to not work at the level that she did before, and it's okay to say, hey, look, like, I'm not feeling the best today. Can I do something else? You know, can I do the clerical duties? Can I, you know, do something that doesn't require me to be standing up for so long, or, you know, walking around for such a distance? I think that would be really important. That's probably a priority that we should make. And you know, we can, you know, just communicate that to the other staff members as well. That, you know, she might feel that she's letting the team down, but you just need to be positive and encourage her that, you know, it's okay, and you know, it's not a forever thing.
No, of course not.
And just all around, just have that good morale around her, because that's definitely going to help her in her road to recovery. So with that being said, any work health safety, just based on what we've got there, in regards to work health safety, is there any implications that you can think of about her returning to work? Obviously the obvious ones are, you know, she's not going to be able to work at the level that she did before, so it's, you know, just trying to get her used to working at a much slower pace, trying to get her not to, you know, get in the mindset of, oh, I'll just quickly do this, you know, I'll just quickly lift this really heavy thing, because all those little movements, it's going to aggravate her injury, and it's just going to take the recovery time a lot longer, and you know, it might worsen. You know, also with workers that work alongside her, you know, you can't make everyone happy. There are going to be people that aren't going to be happy with the changes that we're going to be making to favour her recovery. So it's just trying to find a way to overcome those workers, try and get them to understand that it's not a forever thing, and it's just for a recovery period, and
I think probably the only, I guess, thing that you can do from a safety perspective is potentially do a toolbox on back injuries and recovery associated with back injuries. I know that you also said that you were going to do some manual handling training, which is a really, really good thing. And I think, you know, doing the toolbox and then getting the workers' input. You know, saying we're here to support Jan. You know, we would do the same for anyone else who has this kind of injury, explaining a little bit more about back injuries, and also maybe, and I know, you know, you might have some ideas about this, but maybe also explaining to them the return to work process. Because I think sometimes workers think it's the employee requesting these things rather than a legal obligation to provide it. So I think going through, don't get too legislative, but just the process, you know, the process at the hospital and you know what the legal obligations are. On what to provide would be really helpful. Because a lot of them they've not had injuries, they've not known someone who's had injuries, they've just heard of people rorting the system. And that could be quite detrimental to Jan's recovery if she hears anything like that.
I think that's a really good point to make as well. Definitely getting the other staff members to understand that yes, it's a legal requirement, and yes, we have to. This is something that we have to do. We can't, you know, be negligent with it. And that, you know, ultimately it's beneficial for everyone. And
it's your duty of care.
And it's beneficial for everyone, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, if she ultimately, you know, just the worst case scenario that she, you know, gets worse, that she doesn't come back to work, then, you know, that's another role that we have to try and fill, or try and delegate all those tasks to others. So we just need to reiterate to the other staff members that it is actually beneficial for them as well, that she makes a recovery, a full recovery.
And they can see there's, you know, all of the support in place. If anything happens to them in the future.
And it's an example, a good example that, you know, if you do get injured, one, not to try and hide it. Don't be afraid that, oh, you know, I'm going to get fired, or, you know, I'm going to get let go because I can't do my job anymore. That's not the case. And Jan's a good example where, you know, if you do get injured, we have this service in place for you to, you know, make sure that you're still able to do your job. You still have a job, and that, you know, we work with you to ultimately get you back to, you know, your 100%. And get back to
and it's a really good solid plan. I think you've provided lots of really good meaningful duties, and sometimes people just give kind of filler duties, and that doesn't really help. So I don't think you've got many of that at all. And no, it's a really good solid plan, I think.
No worries.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming out.
That's okay. You're welcome. Thank
you. I'll definitely make the amendments based on your recommendations today. I'll change our actions and some of our workout safety implications, and I'll send that through to get reviewed, and then, you know, we can move from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.